Hello guys, welcome back to another Dungeon Quest video, and today we are going to be figuring out, and I'll be showing you um how to be better at Dungeon Quest, and just easy tips and tricks, mostly for beginners. This is basically all for beginners, so if you are probably about higher than level 50, you should probably know all of this. But if you are lower than level 50, you should probably watch this video. These are just basic tips and tricks and just things you should know about Dungeon Quest, and it can help you throughout the levels and how to become a higher level. The first thing that you should know about Dungeon Quest is that you need to have Shiplock on. This is mainly for PC players. On mobile, I can't really help you out. I don't know much about mobile, but I know there's a Shiplock button, and yeah, you can press that, and this is how you use Shiplock. So for PC players and mobile players, this is how you use Shiplock. You can just press Shift on your keyboard, or just tap the button on mobile, and you can just, when you move your mouse from side to side, or even up or down, it will keep you aimed on where your mouse is pointing, instead of walking around and kind of pointing your mouse this way and not having your character. Wherever your mouse is pointing, your character will look at. This is great because what will happen is, if you are trying to if you're trying to fight a mob, and it's chasing you, you don't have to turn around by switching around your character, and your character might get hit. You can easily just back away slowly while the mob is chasing you. You can just do maybe one of your boosts and just do the spell, and then the monster or the mob will be defeated or just more damaged. And so that's the real great thing about Shiplock. Another thing about Shiplock is that you can also position a lot of your attacks in a different way. With this type of attack, where the sword goes, it does more damage, and farther away from the sword that is spawned, it does less damage. You can pretend this tree is a mob, or actually this one's easier to see, but pretend this one is a mob. You can just position it about a little bit closer. Think about this close is good for this attack. If we just summon the sword, yeah, it's pretty on point. You have to. The bad thing about it is that you have to estimate how far away the sword is. So based on that information, I just have to go about 2 steps, and then yeah, that's basically on top of the target. Now, just to show you this, I'm going to go over there and test it out on the salesman, or one of the dummies. Okay, now that we are at the dummies, you can actually see. So pretend this is the front mob that you're actually trying to hit, and these are 2 other points where this damage will go. So just to explain this type of attack and how Shiplock can help it, is that with Shiplock you can position where you want the sword to go. So I think about here is about the range of the sword, maybe a little closer, and what will happen is, if I position it over here, as you can see, the sword will go right there. If you position it on top of this dummy, so the sword will go right on top of it. As you can see, when the sword was on top of this dummy, it did 5.9 trillion damage. And then on each side, since it had the blast radius was on the edge, it hit only for 5.8 trillion. So you really want to get for one of these types of attacks, you really want to get your attack right on the mob. So you don't want it pretend you're fighting, and you want to if you position it this way, the mob will be over there and it will take less damage. But if you put it right on target, then it will do more damage. Another tip is that whenever you're fighting, you should usually carry around a boost if you ever have one. This can vary between 80% to 100%, and this can help you boost attacks, and it will do almost double about or almost double damage to the mob that you're attacking. So, for example, if we go to my inventory, as you can see, I don't have the best armor. I'm just working on getting a better war scythe armor, and this one called Inner Rage. You can get this in Insane Volcanic Chambers. It says gain a movement speed boost and increase physical damage by 80%. What that means is that you can increase, pretend let's just say my um sword fall, I think that's what it's called, blade fall it is called down, and it does what, 5 trillion. But what this would do, it would about get it to 9 trillion. About that. That's about 80%. And basically what would happen is it's only when it's using this boost. Now, there's another one. I don't know if I have it. Let's just quickly check it. No, I do not think I have it. Write down in the comments if I missed it. I don't think I have it. I don't want to spend so much time searching it. But, there's a different type of ability. I cannot show you it, but it comes out, you can get it in Desert Temple, and, what happened is that when you call it, it's kind of like Inner Rage, but it would give kind of like a kind of circular circle around you with swords pointing up from the ground, and it would give you 100,000. I mean, not 100,000, 100% more damage. So that would size up to about, if I did 5 trillion with the blade fall, it would do 10 trillion. So it's a little better than the Inner Rage for it was a little better than the Inner Rage for damage wise, but just for the speed boost, it can really help in the higher dungeons, just like Volcanic Chambers, because some mobs can run a little faster than your regular speed, and that's why you will need the boost in Inner Rage rather than the damage. So that, yeah. Here is a little more higher level one. This one is if you want to get a cosmetic, and how the easiest cosmetic probably to get, because all cosmetics have the same drop chance in every single dungeon. And just in case if you didn't know this, there's one cosmetic per dungeon. So like each dungeon has their specific cosmetic. And I only have 2 dungeon cosmetics. As you can see, here's the snowman. But the lava demigod is from the volcanic chambers dungeon, which is the highest dungeon for this date to this date. And the cursed shipwright is from Ghastly Harbor, and I think it's about 110 to 100, level 110 to 120, I'm guessing. And so yeah, that's the shipwright. And as you can see, another thing you get with these cosmetics is a title. As you can see, Ghastly Achiever. You also get Ghastly Achiever connected to Cursed Shipwright, and you get Volcanic Achiever connected to Lava Demigod. So that's you get their skin kind of per cosmetic. So you get these 2 different types of cosmetics. And this happens every single dungeon. So you can get 1 cosmetic per dungeon. You can't get 2 cosmetics of the same from the same dungeon. You can only get 1. And what happens is you need 3 of these cosmetics to get the blue rune for Excalibur. But that's for another video, where you can check out the Calvin GTS video. He explains that. I'll link it into the description. And then and how to get the easiest cosmetic you can probably get is the Winter Outpost. The Winter Outpost cosmetic. The reason the Winter Outpost cosmetic is the easiest to get, it's because that the Winter Outpost dungeon is the fastest dungeon you could ever go to. By that I mean it's the shortest dungeon. All the other dungeons are very, 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 they're not insanely long, but Winter Outpost is the shortest one. So to grind a cosmetic, you should go to Winter Outpost, because you can just finish the dungeon a lot more times, then you could probably finish Desert Temple. Another thing about Desert Temple is you should probably Desert Temple is probably one of the worst. Is probably one of the worst dungeons to farm a cosmetic, just because there's so many twists and turns, and there's like a whole maze too. But the thing about Desert Temple is that I'd recommend that you um never ever try to get that cosmetic unless you really want it. But I highly recommend you only go to Winter Outpost. Another tip is that wait, let's just kill these guys. Another tip is that when you're ever trying to speed run a dungeon. Now, right now, my armor doesn't matter, but I also recommend getting mage armor if you're not as high leveled, that you just need like one little kind of like weapon. I recommend getting a double pulse wave. You can get pulse waves from the insane steampunk sewers. Just get a mage weapon and just, I'd say, pulse waves all the way to the end. Because the thing about pulse waves is that it does a boost and it does a lot of area damage, and you basically all you have to do is just run to the end. So this is the best grind strategy. It's really good. It's a really good tip on like what you need to grind just to get this cosmetic. Now this is only for cosmetic purposes. For me, I honestly do not like the Winter Outpost cosmetic, but also, it's what you need 3 cosmetics from a different dungeons, at least 3 cosmetics, to get the you need at least 3 cosmetics to get the blue room done. Now, I did not get as lucky. I mean, I would say it is very hard to get a cosmetic or a legendary, anything like that. Well, yes, we did not get a cosmetic. But that's kind of the same order that you need to go in to keep on grinding for that cosmetic. And what will happen? I did not film this, but what will happen is it will say cosmetic unlocked, and it will tell you which one you've unlocked and what dungeon it's from and what's named. So that's the fastest way you can. That's the fastest dungeon, the shortest dungeon. I meant it's the shortest dungeon you can pick from all the other ones, and that's the fastest way you can do a dungeon. So remember, just in case you forgot, just get a mage weapon that is decently strong, is strong enough to one shot every mob. Probably I recommend getting a double pulse wave. Other than that, a double pulse waves I'd say is probably the best combo just to speed through a dungeon, because you're unlimited, you have unlimited kind of like sprinting speed. And yeah, that's the fastest way to complete a dungeon. My last and final tip is a very beginner tip, but I know some people that used to begin and they wouldn't like match this, connect the dots. And this is just in case you probably, if you just begun, I wouldn't ever expect someone over the level 30 to not understand this. But what happens is there's two different types of um there's 2 different types of classes. There's warrior, also known as physical power in these skills, and mage, also known as spell power. Now, I am warrior. You can choose between mage or warrior depending on how you feel and how you feel comfortable. Another one is stamina in your skills, that when you add stamina, you get more health. So so basically how it works is if I had 320 health and I had no skill points in here and I added 1 stamina, then it would probably give me about 400 health or more. And that's how stamina would work. And the thing about stamina is I do recommend keeping your stamina as low as possible. You should try to keep your stamina as low as possible, and that's because you should try to do as much damage as you can. I recommend that, or spell power. And just because doing more damage usually is more important than having health. Another thing in Dungeon Quest is that you really need to dodge a lot, so that is another tip. But yeah, back to the main tip. The thing about physical power and spell power is that, as you can see, let's just take this Molten Forge Warrior armor. You can see it has 729,660 physical power, and its spell power isn't that good. It's really bad comparing to physical power. That's because it is based on that is because it's a warrior. That's because it is warrior armor, and that's mainly for warrior. So if I equip this, it will of course give me some HP because, as you can see, it has some health there too, and it also will give me a boost on my physical power. So, for example, if I had my let's say basic weapon and I equipped it this where is it this and let's just say I equipped it this space warrior armor, I would do more damage than I used to do. Another thing for mage is it matters on mage. Let's see, Lava King's mage armor. If I equip this, I will have, you see, it's barely any physical power, but a lot of spell power and so a lot of health too. So what happens is that if you're a mage, you definitely should have the armor that has the most spell power, and you should have and if if you are a warrior, you should have the armor that has the most physical power. To be honest, you should not really care about your appearance. I don't even know. I mean, I do like the cosmetic, so that's why I'm wearing it. But really, do not care about your appearance. I'd say do whatever you can to make if you look ugly but you do a lot of damage, then you're fine, because either way you're probably going to get a cosmetic, and I guess if you have some extra Robux to spend, you can buy a cosmetic. I recommend not buying a cosmetic, only the ones you can ever earn, like in the Christmas event with the snowman. And yeah, so yeah, and also another thing is that when you're choosing between between a mage and a warrior, you also need spells. So the thing about the spells is, as you can see, Blade Fall, call down an explosive sword from the sky, scales with physical power. This means that it's mainly for a warrior, and physical power is needed to make this more powerful. So, as you can see as you saw in the early in the video, when I demonstrated my blade fall to the training dummies, I did a lot of damage because, as you can see over here, my warrior armor, and up here my Lava King's war scythe has some physical damage and physical power, and basically that will just make it do a lot more will do a lot more damage. So as you can see, so here's a sword. Let's see how we do with no armor and no weapon. As you can see, we did no damage. We couldn't even touch them. We did basically no damage. The only things that are giving us a tiny bit of physical power is these stats. But if I equip this Lava King's War Scythe and I do my ability, I will do a little bit of damage. Now, if you finally can get a full set like this, I have a matching set, but if you get a lot of armor and stuff like that, like if I just added this helmet, I can do a little bit more damage. And also, it's just better to have a lot more armor. Another thing is that if I pretend I have this Lava King's mage armor on, let's see, it has a ton of spell power, and let's take this one that says scales with physical power. Let's just take this triple blade throw, and let's try it out. It does no damage. Now that is because we only use, it says scales with physical power. So if this specializes in spell power, we need a spell power kind of attack. Let's just take Electric Boom. and we'll go over here. I kind of crashed myself into that. We can summon the spell, and boom, it will do a lot of attack spell power damage, and basically that's the basics on what kind of armor you should get and what kind of abilities you need to get, and how you should wear them, and why you should wear them, and basically the basic principles of a kind of like a dungeon game. Last but not least, I do have a kind of not important, but it is a kind of extra kind of tip. So listen to it if you want to. I think it could be kind of important. It really is based on your opinion, but the main thing is legendaries. So why are legendaries so special? The reason legendaries are very special is because legendaries have a very, very, very small chance of dropping for a dungeon. So as you can see, I traded for most of these legendaries. I actually was surprised I actually got this desert fairy when I was helping out my little cousin. But legendaries are very, very hard to get. They have a 0.02 chance, like I said, and they're just, I would say they're unneeded. They're not needed with if you're not using them. Now, I always use this Lava King Oversight because it is my best weapon I have, and it is very, very rare, and it's very, very rare to get this. A thing about the legendaries is, like, I don't need this dual godful. I don't need any of these that are under my Lava King Forces. So why do people collect legendaries? Well, there's kind of like I would not call it a class, but kind of like I'd say a hobby maybe. They like to collect legendaries. So that's why there are people called collectors. They collect purple armor and stuff like that. And the thing about these legendaries, I only use them, I guess, maybe even sometimes the only reason they use them is maybe you're gonna just flex on their friends. So, to be honest, I don't need these legendaries. Like, I'm not gonna throw them away and give them to people, but I am going to just keep them in my inventory to just, have them there and just, be proud that I got them. But you have no kind of, there's no advantage you can ever get from any of these legendaries. Only the one that you're using, if you're really using it to benefit yourself. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching this video. I know it's been a little bit weird on how I kind of positioned my talking. I'm sorry I have to make this off fly a little bit. I will maybe get a script out and try out doing this script, but it is kind of fun and exciting doing and just winging it, just talking about like some tips and tricks, because like I don't know, like, I'm trying my best just to, like, get a video out, just because I feel like I should get one gaming video out, right, to, like, this week, but yeah, I'm sorry if I stuttered a lot of it. It's coming out, this is fresh out of the brain, so, I mean, it's a little hard for me to come up with some, like, fancy kind of, like, talk, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video about some tips and tricks. I hope it will help you out during your Dungeon Quest adventure. And can you like and subscribe if you want to? You don't have to. You can also unsubscribe whenever you want. But see ya. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.